here we go. Ooh, not good. Not good. Sorry. I haven't done this in a oh my gosh, stop tilting. Why do I look like a tomato? Hi everyone. It's been a while. I know, I'm late. Anyway, hi, I'm Safa. Welcome back if you're new. Today I'm going to be doing a lovely weekend reading vlog because I haven't done one in a while and they're kind of fun to do. So I have a couple goals on this list to finish some books that I am in the middle of reading and finish books that I have yet to read but I need to return. This is like my TBR stack for this video. There's like 5 books on it, 3 books, 2 mangas, which I think is ideal considering my speed of reading isn't very fast compared to others. So it's gonna go over the course of today, which is Friday, and then tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. We'll see how much I get done. So the TBR basically consists of 2 mangas. First would be Jujutsu Kaisen. I love the anime, it was amazing. Would rewatch it again, and I'm very excited to pick up the first volume because it's just so interesting. Like Yuji, Sakuna, and Gojo are just like, all makes sense now. The next one is going to be Naruto. And so I have the first 3 volumes in this compact version, which is super fun. I got this around the Christmas time, so normally they wouldn't have like these compacted versions, but I was lucky to kind of snag one. So this will be a relatively quick read because I mean, manga is like always easy to read. The next one I want to read is called A Spoonful of Murder by J.M. Hall. This one, actually, fun fact, is one that my cousin lent me and I'm almost done. I'm like 100 pages less to finish about. Anyway, so this was kind of like a book I started a while ago and I'm going to finish it in this video. The next one is going to be my reread of Six of Crows. I love Six of Crows, one of my favorite books of all time. Fun fact, I watched the Shadow and Bone TV show. I loved it, and all the Kanej shipping moments hit me, and I was like, I need to relive this in the book. So that's why I'm reading it. If I can just grab all these books, that'd be, oh, you're falling. Don't fall, don't fall. That is my little TBR setup for this video, and let's see how much I can get done in the next 3 days. Okay, excuse the noise, my computer is running in the background, but I have a little update of Six of Crows to share with you. So I made it to a bit about page 74 within chapter 5. So about a good amount in, that much if you want to know for sure. But essentially, I am in my reread, if you didn't know, of Six of Crows. So I kind of got inspired after watching the Shadow and Bone season 2 episodes recently, and the Kanej content has been on point. Not gonna lie though, I'm a little hesitant and like worried for future seasons, or maybe the Six of Crows spin-off that they're implying that might happen lately. Because like every time you see Kaz and Nej or the Crows together, they're always taking scenes from Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom and using it in the 2nd season. And I'm like, you know, this is nice, but like, what are you gonna do when the Crows like actual plot happens with the ice court and everything? Because that's like huge to their story. Like for instance, the whole bandaging scene is like a big part of Crooked Kingdom. That's like one of everyone's favorite Kanej moments. So I'm like, why is this happening so early? Like my initial reaction was nuts because I was freaking out the entire time. But besides the point, I'm supposed to be reading this book. About page 74 in Six of Crows. So basically, we've got the whole introduction between, you know, who Kaz is, you know, the Crows, and like the basic atmosphere of Ketterdam being like this underground, like almost pre-industrial version of the UK. And it's interesting because we see how Kaz, being the major swindler himself, has gotten swindled by Venek, the merchant council guy. And so he's kind of been like pressured into pursuing this ice court job that's going to pay him over 30 million kruga in exchange for basically breaking something of precious value out of the ice court itself. But to do so, he needs his major and very skilled group of crows to do so. So far, we got introduced to, besides Kaz, Inej, Jesper, and Nina just about now. And so they're about to like do a snippet on who Matthias is. Wylan has yet to be introduced, but it'll come up eventually. But essentially, I am just very excited to see the moment where they're about to head off to the ice court on the boat or something, and then that Kenej moment happens where I shouldn't say, it's kind of spoilery, but it's really cute. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, I saw the cutest moment. Okay, I have to go back. So basically, after Kaz got beaten up by Vanek's men to kind of be pressured into doing the job, he came back to talk to Per Haskell about it, yada yada, and eventually Inej kind of caught up to him and started asking him stuff. And then he says to her, you need to go buy me a new hat. And Inej says, please, you have to say please to me. And so I'm just going to read this paragraph because it's so cute. So he's like, Kaz heaved a sigh as he braced himself for 3 painful flights of stairs. He looked over his shoulder and said, please, my darling Inej, treasure of my heart, won't you do me the honor of acquiring me a new hat? Inej cast a meaningful glance at his cane. Have a long trip down, she said, then leapt onto the banister, sliding from one flight onto the next, slick as a butter in a pan. That's just like one of the cutest things, just because like it's so weird how Kaz in the books translates a little differently to Kaz in the show, although the whole vibe of him is the same. I feel like Kaz here is a little bit more expressive, if that's the right term, although expressive itself is a very strong term for Kaz's personality. I would say he's just a bit more sarcastic and a bit more open to being sarcastic in the books. Maybe because he's more familiar and comfortable with his crows at this point, because like technically the Shadow and Bone stuff that's happening in the show is technically the Crow's prequel story. So what we're getting is just like extra fun bits. But so yeah, I'm excited to continue and see what other cute things are gonna happen, because we know they're gonna show up. Anyway, other things, Kaz just went to go find Nina and ask her to go on the job with him. So he went to the White Rose brothel that she works at, something like that. Also, I have to say, I forgot to mention, I pre-ordered the next copy or edition of the last book coming out in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. If you didn't know, Stephanie Garber always comes out with these really cute special editions, UK ones specifically, with the foil underneath the hardback. Hold on, let me get my older edition so I can show you. Oh my god, where did my other version go? So essentially, all there is in the Once Upon a Broken Heart book so far is just the 2 books. I just have a couple editions, that's why it looks like there's 3. But the first book is just Once Upon a Broken Heart, book 1. Now this itself is technically the Barnes & Noble / Indigo special edition. It does have a fun backing to it. It's like this, it's really pretty. But the UK ones, those ones are in high demand, and those ones are the extra special ones simply because they're signed by the author and they're also foiled. The foiling is so much prettier though. Like boom. Have you ever seen something so pretty? Like this is the second book, The Ballad of Never After. Like I said, it's also signed, so that was really exciting for me. But the third book that is going to release in October, entitled A Curse for True Love, is supposed to have that, hidden foil backing, but only in the Waterstones exclusive edition. So I just pre-ordered it, and yes, it's a little pricey considering I have to pay extra shipping and duties since I'm in Canada, but you know what? It is worth it, because once those run out of stock, they will not be reprinting it. So it's like every man and woman for themselves at this point. So I'm just snagging what I can get, and I got it. Well, I mean, I pre-ordered it, and then I'll wait for October to come, and then I'll get it. I usually get a second edition too, meaning one from Indigo, because I don't want to wait that long because obviously I'm ordering from the UK. It's going to take at least 2 or 3 weeks to get here from the time of the book releasing. So I'll just kind of get another copy at Indigo in the meantime and read it and keep both. So that's the game plan here. Yeah. So let's continue reading. Okay, I'm back. Update. I changed my mind. It's no longer a weekend reading vlog. It has been like literally 2 days since I've last like picked the book up and filmed. So today is Monday, April the 10th. I'm still reading Six of Crows. I actually made a little bit more headway. The weather today, guys, has been amazing. It's literally like 17 degrees, so I was so happy. I was reading outside. The weather was just amazing. My cat Aya was also there. We were having a blast. So, update specific position here. I'm literally like a page away from finishing the chapter. So basically you could say I'm on chapter 9 on page 128, 127 to be exact. So just little tidbits of information. We've recruited Matthias to the Crows, and they're just having their first like banterish moment. It's like that iconic scene which everyone really posts about. It's when Kaz asks, "What's the easiest way to steal a man's wallet?" "A knife to the throat," asked Dinesh. "A gun to the back? Poison in his cup? You're all horrible," said Matthias. It's just kind of funny. It's just the way they're all working together and just interacting. It's just like so hilarious. But I don't know why I said but. There is no but. It's just the point. Other things to note is that I feel like I'm in my sad girl spring era, just because every song I'm listening to lately, it has like some like sad undertone to it. Like I've been binging Selena Gomez recently because we love her. Literally been listening to Lose You to Love Me. What was the other one? Naturally, like some of her older songs too, which I absolutely loved growing up. Listening to that and Lana Del Rey songs, like her song Young and Beautiful is like top tier, one of my all-time favorites. And then recently I've been getting into Summertime Sadness. So before we can get to Hot Girl Summer, we need to get through Sad Girl Spring, okay? So that's just the whole thing that I'm up to today. I'm gonna get some more schoolwork done because my exam is coming up and, you know, gotta study for that. And I'm just excited to continue this. I think the next time I will update will likely be maybe around the 300 page mark, or is that too far? Yeah, so when they actually get to the ice court, maybe I'll like do some update there, just because I don't want to update every 50 pages. This will be a very long vlog if it is. Also, there will be no food featured in this video. Why? Because I'm fasting. It is Ramadan, so obviously I'm not eating during the day. It's a purposeful intention to do so. So when the time comes when Ramadan finishes, then we will get back to the food footage. As much as I would love to go to like a cafe or just like drink tea, I can't. So that's just like kind of my spiel for the moment. After Six of Crows, I think I'm gonna get into a manga, either Naruto. Hold on, let me grab it actually. So after Six of Crows, I think I'm just considering reading one of these, like Naruto or Jujutsu Kaisen, simply because they're fast. I can read them very quickly and just feel more accomplished while reading. I think that's a big motivator when you want to read more, it's finding books that read very quickly and are usually shorter, just to say that you've accomplished more in a certain time frame. Like, even though some people don't necessarily count reading mangas as like books in the year, it still does, but I don't think you should regard it as the same as reading like a 300-page book. Obviously, considering what you're basically reading are like panels of just people talking and that stuff. But you know what? Still add it. It still counts. It's still a worthy accomplishment nonetheless, and that is why I included it in this video. I remember originally I was actually considering doing like reading famous mangas for the first time kind of thing, even though it's not really my first time, but like it is my first time in this format. So I was gonna read obviously these two and then my other One Piece manga, and then considering Attack on Titan as well. I've already watched it like several times, rewatched it, so I know everything that goes on, but I still want to read it because I've never really read the beginning few chapters. I have the latter half, but that would have been an interesting concept for a video. But you know what? I think it just takes too much time for me to like, gather all the mangas. It's really annoying because the library I have doesn't necessarily have all of them. Like, it has a few of like the major popular manga series like Naruto or One Piece, but like any of the other ones, maybe like Attack on Titan and some of the other ones, like they may not have the first few volumes. They have like random ones in the middle, so it's just kind of weird to start about it there. Actually, I don't even know if they have Spy Family. That would be really cool. If they do, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll read it in a vlog. Anyway, so we'll continue Six of Crows and get into one of these two later and continue my sad girl music spree. Yeah, let's continue.
Oh yeah, of course you will.
Okay, so let's give an update on Six of Crows. I made a lot more progress, and true to my last statement, I have reached page 312 of chapter 26. Oops, that fell right here. So at this point, this is just a week in the life kind of reading vlog, because the whole weekend thing didn't work out at all. So I have to change it up. So I think either I'm going to change it to just the Six of Crows vlog, or just, you know, continue as a general reading vlog. Probably the latter, just because I get more content out of it. But I haven't posted in a long time. Exams are chaotic right now, so I'm sorry. But hopefully once they're done, we'll get back to the normal, more frequent posting schedule. So goal is, the next time I update, I'm going to finish this book and hopefully get started at some point in one of those mangas I mentioned. So about the point where I'm at, they have entered the ice court at this point, and so they're trying to do the whole incinerator shaft thing where Inej climbs up, and it's just like an intense moment for her just because it's very hot unexpectedly, and she's like basically carrying everyone at this point. Well, not really carrying, it's more metaphorical because she's the one who has to climb up barehanded almost without any safety nets, and the others get to climb up using the rope after her. So I love Inej. I think one of her most iconic lines came up. Where was it? It's where she said, "The heart is an arrow, let its aim demand true." Like, that's like clearly an Inej line. I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, they discussed like everyone's backstory basically. I think except Matthias. And okay, so we've got into Kaz's, Inej, and Nina's backstory. So we're still waiting mainly on Jesper's, Wyland's, and Matthias's. So I think theirs is mostly discussed in Crooked Kingdom. We're in a high intense situation, waiting to finish the whole job, and we'll see how they get out of it. So anyway, let's continue reading. updates on Six of Crows. I've officially finished it now. It's done. It has taken me a long time. Actually, let's be real. It hasn't taken me that long. I just haven't been consistent with my reading because my exams were in the middle of it, and then I had assignments and so on and so forth. But the semester is done, and I've officially finished the book. I just love tabbing it. Like, if you see it, all the nice colors. I don't want to write in this. I feel like because it's one of my most favorited books, I don't want to ruin the interior, because if I do want to reread it again, it's clean, there's nothing marked up, and it's good. Overall rating, obviously, being that it's a reread, it doesn't live up to the same excitement that I felt when I initially read it, but it was still a pretty solid read nonetheless. I think I would give it about 4.5 stars. I'll think about it, consolidate my feelings, and, post it on Goodreads. It's actually kind of hilarious too, because I haven't read a book, like completely read a book, I think since February, and it's May, March, April. So like 2.5 months, I say, since I've actually picked up and finished a book. So May and the rest of the year will be different, and I'm excited. Now, what do I want to read next? Let's be real, I just want to feel accomplished when I read. So I think I'm going to read my mangas next. And then I'm going to finish, not the Harry Potter book, because I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to finish The Spoonful of Murder, because I am more than halfway through. I think I have about a little more than 100 pages left. I could easily finish all 3 of this today if I'm really into it. So we will see. That's the game plan. And then hopefully this vlog will almost be finished, because it's been taking me way too long. And if you can tell, my outfit's different because it's been weeks later since I've last updated. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, I have to give some updates. It's the next day. So I did finish Jujutsu Kaisen. Great book. It's not a book, it's a manga. A great manga. Love the anime. It's a great introduction. I feel like compared to other volumes, this one has a lot more going on. Probably because they have a lot more panels and there's just, I don't know, more things they can squeeze into in a short turnaround. And it's so funny, like they have little doodles of like Gojo and then Yuji and like Megumi and all of them. It's so cute. Like at the end, I want to add this to my bullet journal. Like just the little doodles of all 4 of them. That's so cute. And other comments is that anime Sukuna, in my opinion, much better looking than the manga version. Like, yeah, he's like, you know, Yuji's a cute guy, but like Sukuna in the anime, that's something to add to my Pinterest board. If you didn't know, I have like Pinterest boards dedicated to like my favorite anime males. I have one of Levi from Attack on Titan, one of Trafalgar Law from One Piece, and then general like anime mood boards for like when I see cute fan art that I want to add to it. That's like my whole thing. So maybe one day I'll have one of Sukuna if I continue, but I really like it so far. I don't know if I want to continue buying all the individual volumes because there is a lot, and I prefer to put my money and energy towards books that I haven't read, meaning like physical books, but I will be reading it online if they have available resources for that and watching the anime, of course. But overall rating for the first volume, I would say about 4 stars. It is the introduction. We got a lot of the really cool things. Honestly, my favorite part of where I was hooked in, at least in the anime, was actually right after where this ends. Like where they ended is basically when Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara are fighting, or Kugisaki, are going into the prison to fight this special grade curse demon, and Nobara and Megumi left. So now all that's left is just Yuji, and he's in his Sukuna form. And then that's where things start to get really interesting, because then you see Sukuna in action. That's where I really got hooked to this series for the first time. And I might consider buying the second volume just for that reason. But overall, really enjoyable. I do highly recommend. Like, it is so good. It is set in like a modern day setting with fantasy integrated in its like magic system and just the monsters that are coming about. And I like that Sukuna is kind of like the center of all of it. So I feel like his role is going to play a bit into like a morally gray type of character. Like, who knows, maybe we will see him kind of change sides a bit here and there. But then again, he does have his own ulterior motive. So we will get there once we cross that bridge. Okay, next update I want to give is for this one, A Spoonful of Murder by J.M. Hall. I cannot tell you how many times I have tried to pick this up and continue reading. Funny enough, I'm actually like almost done. I have literally about 100 pages left, but I cannot get through this for the life of me. Honestly, this book I just do not connect with at all. I don't vibe with it. Clearly, I'm not suited towards this genre, or maybe it's just the way it's written. How do I explain this? Like, when I read this book, I feel like I'm not reading. I'm just looking at words on a page, and I'm not understanding anything. Like, it's just so flat, very two-dimensional, and nothing really, like, strikes me as interesting in this book. I feel like the premise and the whole setup was good, and I felt like if they really honed in on, like, you know, describing more of the atmosphere of the book and how cozy certain things are, and just like really got into some of that more, I don't know, just more elaborate details about the setting itself, maybe would have given more into like the mysterious atmosphere, but it's just very flat. It's just like an old woman died because someone changed her pills so she kicked the bucket. That's horrible to say, I'm sorry. But that's literally what happened. So, as it would seem, they're trying to figure out who murdered her, who switched the pills. Like, but yeah, I'm literally on page 225 and it ends at 325. This isn't my book. This is actually my cousin's book. And I'm going to give it back to her because I really don't want to finish this. Like, when I read a book and when I add it to my Goodreads list, I want to say that I've read it, you know, end to end and that I can understand some semblance of what was going on. But with this book, like, I honestly cannot recall a single moment. It is just not a memorable piece at all. Very flat, one-dimensional, very, you know, non-developed characters, in my opinion. It's just meh. Not my cup of tea. Am I going to rate it? Like I said, my ratings for DNFs are usually going to be like 1 stars. It doesn't mean like it's a terrible book. Like, oh my gosh, it's trash. Don't read it. Like, no. For me, I'll just keep it as a DNF and I'll just write down, you know, here's the reasons why I did it. And I have another entry into my reading journal. So I'm excited to honestly add that. But for now, that was a fail. And the final book I'm going to read is going to be Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto. This is actually the first 3 volumes of Naruto because I got the compacted version. They were selling it at Indigo during the Christmas time. So it's not just the first volume, it's the first 3. So I'm very excited. It's going to be a long one because there's like, apparently, according to the page list, there is like 580 something pages in here. But I can honestly finish it by the end of the day. I love it. Naruto is one of my all-time favorite animes of all time. My all-time favorite character, Itachi Uchiha, comes from this. Although not in this set of chapters, but further down the road, which we will discuss at a later point. But anyway, very excited.
Nothing's half as nice as you. It's paradise. Won't you take my advice? Nothing's half as nice as you.
Okay, little updates on Naruto, which I started recently. So I made it up to chapter 3. You can see it right there. Enter Sasuke Uchiha, basically. So I got started into it and I love it. I mean, it just brings back all the nostalgic memories of actually watching the anime. And it's just so much fun to read, to be quite honest. I've never read Naruto, the first few chapters or even like the volumes or anything. I've only read the manga in the later half because what happened is that for me, when I started watching Naruto, it wasn't completely like done in terms of its episodes. So where it ended off was like the beginning of the war arc in Shippuden. And then obviously there wasn't any more episodes to watch at the time, so I switched over to the manga at that point and then just read the rest of it and the anime episodes when they eventually came out. So obviously never reading this before, I am experiencing the manga journey for the first time, but it just brings back so many good memories of actually remembering these scenes in the anime. My favorite part, honestly, in the beginning is just seeing that strong bond between Iruka and Naruto, which just sets the foundation for just who Naruto wants to be and what his hopes and dreams are like, and just like the very first person who really believed in him and just set his path forward. So that's what's so special about this. And so like we just saw, Naruto, it's just the growth you see in the very first chapter just sets the tone for who he is and what he strives to be, a person who never gives up, who believes in himself, and always wants to achieve his dream of becoming Hokage. And just seeing the turnaround from the beginning where he couldn't even produce a single shadow clone to producing like thousands of them is just amazing. And I'm excited to continue. So in terms of page-wise, I'm on page 85. So we will see what will happen next. Obviously, I know what happens next, but I'm anticipating the squad to form, you know, the whole Zabuza arc coming up. From where this ends, I kind of peeked, it's a little sneaky, is where they're in the middle of battling Zabuza the second time around. So I'm excited. Let's continue. Okay, unboxing, because I have received 2 books that I have ordered recently. Okay, wait, there's like kind of, I'm trying to do it so I don't flash the barcode or my address or something. Screw it, I'm using scissors. There's tape on it, so it's like, okay, let's see if I can rip it. Okay, there you go, making moves, making moves. It's such an odd angle. Oh, they look really pretty. Wow, that is a smaller book than what I thought. Ooh, here it is. So I got first book, Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is so tiny. I did not expect it to be this thin. Like, let me give you a comparison. This is the Inheritance Games. Look at the thickness. That's like this big. That's like so tiny. But yeah. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I've been wanting to read one of her books for a long time now, just because I feel like a lot of people have read her stuff and it's always fairly good. This is, I think, the best rated one on Goodreads, so I'm excited to pick this up. And a fairly recent fantasy book that has been released by a very popular fantasy author, and that is The Adventures of Almina al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakravarti. And boy, am I excited to start this. It's kind of funny because apparently, I didn't realize this till today, this book is supposed to be like some prequel story thousands of years before her other series, The City of Brass, begins. So I didn't know it was set in the same world. I thought it was completely different, but apparently it's not. But hopefully I won't give too many spoilers into that series because I have not read it. It has been on my TBR for a long, long time. I just never have gotten around to getting it, or, you know, picking it up, just because, you know, you see other books, you get distracted. But I'm thinking one day if it's at the library, I'm gonna go get it and read it. Honestly though, I thought this would be a lot thicker, but it's pretty good. Oh wait, I didn't, okay, let me see if there's something behind. No, there's nothing behind. I always wish authors could do like a bit more, you know, if they're a little more popular, they could add something to the hardback and the foiling details. I don't know. But I do like this. I've seen the, I think, UK edition, and it's so nice. This one's nice too, but like that UK edition. Really nice. So yeah, I'm so excited to read either of these. I think for the sake of time, maybe I'll read this first, just because it's smaller. But what's good is that I actually bought these specifically, A, because I've been wanting to read them for forever, so that's one. 2 is that it is AAPI Heritage Month, so it would be good to kind of getting around to picking up more Asian authors. And also, I have created like a kind of checklist of sorts. So basically Cindy from the channel with Cindy has kind of, I think she created this whole challenge of an AAPI month. Basically, she has like a list of challenges, or what is it called? Like prompts to kind of guide you in your reading in this month and suggest things that involve books that contain these prompts. So some of them is like, find a book written by an Asian author that contains like a quirky or funny character that, you know, just things like that, random things. So these are some of the options, and I'm actually hoping I can read them soon. And you know what? The fact that Indigo also had a sale going on at the same time was even more of an incentive to buy these. But, oh, it actually looks so pretty on its side, though. Like, you know when you take pictures and it's just, they just look so nice, you know? So I've officially finished Naruto, the 3-part volumes, or 3 volumes that are in the whole book. And it was amazing. Honestly, 5 out of 5 stars. Like, how could you not love this? Naruto always is just such a strong book, manga, anime. It just starts off so good. Everyone says, like, this is like a unanimous feeling, I feel like, across all anime fans, is that the beginning of Naruto is like the best part, because it includes, obviously, we're introduced to the main characters, then we get right into the Zabuza arc, which is arguably one of the best arcs in the entire Naruto franchise, and then right after we get into the Chunin exams, which is like an even better arc in my opinion. But it's just like the culmination of the fight scenes and just the tactics and just the ninjutsu and the friendships and everything going on. It's chaotic, but it's so well done. And I couldn't ask for anything better than this. It just brought up so many good memories, and I'm so glad that I bought it because it just made me feel so good on the inside. I actually noticed there are some slight differences from this to the actual anime. And what I've noticed is that if you have watched, I think, Naruto Shippuden, what you have noticed is that there are some scenes in this, specifically the scene where Squad 7 and Kakashi are doing their first training exercise, like the whole bells test. What they showed is that Kakashi was actually, you know, watching Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura the entire time when they were feeding Naruto. And that wasn't shown in the original anime episodes of Naruto. But in Shippuden, when they really went into the backstory about why Kakashi specifically was assigned Squad 7, it really did show all of that, which is so interesting to see, you know, how the differences are really made. And then the other thing about the whole milk story, about Naruto drinking the rotten milk and trying to cosplay as Sasuke, that whole part where they showed Kakashi and the Lord Hokage's perspective was also part of that episode too, which I thought was interesting that they kind of tied it in together. Other than that, everything is pretty much on point. Some of the lines obviously are a little different, but that's to be expected. But general overall idea is the exact same. I think my overall favorite moment in this so far is, I think, just the end of the first episode / chapter, where Iruka really establishes that bond with Naruto when he saves him. The second one would have to be, I think, when Naruto kind of just shows up as the hero moment and kind of saves the day. And just seeing Kakashi almost praise him for doing such a good job, and seeing him and Sasuke work together is really cool. So that's that. So honestly, overall, we are officially completed with the reading vlog. 2 books, 2 mangas done. Actually, if you really look at it, it's really 2 books and 4 mangas done. You know why? Because this is a 3-part volume book. So what do you think? Pretty good, if I do say so myself. So just to recap everything that I read, first was 6 of Crows, again by Lee Bardugo. Then we had Jujutsu Kaisen. And then I DNF'd A Spoonful of Murder. Am I holding it backwards? Yes, I am. DNF'd. And then finally ending it off with Naruto, the 3 volumes. And it was amazing. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next vlog. Peace.